Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you remember last week, I made a cascading pleated card and I used the changing leaves and I just loved the way the pleats cascade on this one. So I decided after I made this gorgeous template, before I made this card, that I would try making a landscape. This one here was portrait, and now I want to make the landscape. So I just remembered how the other card started out with the pleats going 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. So I just did the same thing with this one to make a template this way. I came up with needing, I'll show you how I did this. I came up with needing 5.5 for my card base, and then I just added 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. Made it super simple to cut it down to 9.5, and this is 4 1/4. So what I'm going to show you I did is on this card, that's the measurements I made for this. I did use the new Summer Splash, new in color, and I used the dies in this set here to make this card using the retro colors there. Now I'm going to make one because this die set will, as you can see, it'll die cut a television and then the speakers and the knobs on this piece here. Oh, that's probably giving a lot of glare to you. But you can also stamp this and die cut it. You can stamp these little lightning bolts that go with the newsflash, and you can also stamp them and die cut them, or you could just die cut them. So I used a lot of the dies on this one. It has this fun die in the set that you could cut out different colors and make like colors on the television, but I just kind of I just die cut them out of the white, put some of the lightning bolts there, and had newsflash. And I did use this from the Something Fancy dies to do the newsflash. You could use your Stylish Shapes dies too. They have a nice pennant that'll fit that. And then I just stamped this using these fun retro diamond shaped things. Okay, so that's what you could do with the dies and putting the antenna. Now I came up with another card, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make this here. So I used some fun colors here. I used Peach Pie as my card base. So once again, I'm just going to show you real quick how we do that. Okay, we are going to, we have this 9.5 by 4 1/4, and we're just going to score at 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and 4 inch. And you'll know when you take those 4 inches off of 9.5, you end up with 5.5. Okay, so the next thing you do is you take your card with the scored sections, the 4 1-inch scored sections at the top of your trimmer, and you go to 3 1/4. It's the same as making the portrait style, and you're going to go down to 3 inches, and you're going to cut up, and then you're going to go over to 1.5, and you're only going to cut down to the first score line at 1 inch. Place. There we go. Let it fall down and up. There we go. And I'm going to set my trimmer aside because now we're just going to use our paper snips we're going to cut, we're going to flip these up here because this is going to be the way, let me see here, the card folds this way and it's going to fold this way. But these are the sections. So this is 1 inch. So between the 2 and the 3 inch section, you could, if you've put the flaps up, you'll know exactly where you're supposed to cut. But technically the directions are, you're going to be cutting between the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. But I kind of pop them up and then I know where I'm coming from. But you do have to kind of find out what's the most comfortable for you as cutting. But I'm going to cut from the score line that is technically the 4 inch score line, but it's actually the 5.5 of the card. You're going to put your snips at the corner there, and you're going to cut down to that mark. So that was between, when I scored it, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's between the 3 and the 4. Now this one is between the 1 and the 2. And you know, I've done it both ways, but I'm finding it a little easier to go from the cut part. And I'm going to kind of show myself where that fold line is. And this one actually, would it be easier? No, it's actually easier. But if it's easier for you to cut that other way, now this is just getting in my way. And I'm trying not to get the glare of the light. There's where it's gonna go. Yeah, that's the trick. Fold your card, then you know exactly where the score line is. Go over to where that 1-inch score line is, where you can see that it's cut, and cut down there, and you've got your little pleats made. That easy. Okay, so now we're going to fold back our card. And like I said, I used the peach, and I wanted a nice retro color that would go with that peach. And I chose Granny Apple Green. Now, on this sample card I made here, I want to show you when you're making a card like this that you can actually vary your measurements to maybe you want to put a focal image in it, you need a little more room or you need less room. The key measurement you have to keep, I think, to make the card look right is you have to keep the tallness of it. Is that the height of it? Yes, the tallness, the height of it. So you want to keep this piece at 2 3/4 and this piece at 3 1/2, because that's the measurement here and the measurement here. So, but you can shorten or lengthen this dimension, the width. So the height, you want to keep it, the border, like I said, at 2 3/4 and 3 1/2, but you can change the width. So when I made this card, I actually made it with 2 1/2, with the DSP being 2 1/2 by 3 5/8. Now, when I went to cut a second card, I realized because it's a 3 5/8 and this paper's 6 by 6, I wasn't getting enough out of it. I was only gonna get 2 pieces of it, but I wanted to get 3. So what I did is I cut it down on the card we're gonna make to 3 1/2, and then that just made me cut this down to 3 3/4. I just took I took 1/8 of it off. So all I did was bring down the card a little smaller. So I just took 1/8 off of here, because this is 3 5/8 on this card, and 5/8 and 1/2 is 4/8. So I just went down 1/8, and I'll have these measurements on my blog underneath the description. And I did the same thing for this one. If I was putting DSP on here, this one, I did not put DSP because I wanted to play around with the stamps and this die here, and I did not use DSP. But on the next card, I think you're going to like that. But you can easily just bring 3/8 down to 2/8, which is 1 1/4, and then you bring your border size down to 4 1/2. So I just wanted to show you that you can adjust that. You just want to make sure that your height stays at 2 3/4 and 3 1/2. But you can change the length. And if I wanted to, I could have brought this out even another 1/8 of an inch and this out 1/8 of an inch, like maybe you're putting the race car or something on here. So if you were gonna do that, play around with your width, but keep your height the same. Because if you make the height any different, it's going to go up above where these points are here. Okay, so there we go. The first thing I'm gonna do, just to kind of help my eyes and what I'm doing, is I am gonna put, and I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to put my white down. Now you know I'm not going to do that because although I am going to pray to Stampin' Jesus that I do this right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday in black, and then I'm going to put the stars in Granny Apple Green because we can see the pretty peach pie there. So I'm just going to get my Happy Birthday here, and I'm going to ink that up in black, and then that brings I just inked my finger up in black as well. Okay, I'm going to stamp that in black right in the middle, And if you want to, black is sometimes a tricky one to play around with, so I sometimes put it in my Stamparatus or whatever stamp positioning tool you have. And then there's these cute little fun retro stars. And like I said, since this is peach, this is black, and I'm going to do the little things here. I'll do those in green. Now, how did I do that on the other card? I went up. Okay, I did it like this. There we go. I might have to redo this anyhow. I don't like that. And this one, I'm going to just take a look at how I did that. I did it this way, okay. There we go. Little retro there. I think maybe I can fix this one here. It's just, let's see. I might be doing myself a yeah, oh, I like that. Okay, so this is going to go on the inside of the card. It just helps my eyes when I'm designing it. So we'll put a little bit of glue around those edges, not all over it, because you're going to end up having some lumps and bumps when you go to write on your card. So we're going to put that in the inside. Oh, I see I'm off camera there a little bit. And I'm just going to get a nice 1/8 inch border on that inside, and paying close attention mostly to these, because here it won't really matter. So we've got the inside done. So now we're just going to take a look at what I did for the outside. Okay, this is what I decided to put as my panel here. Now on this card that I made previously, they had a little bit bigger, just 1/8 of an inch wider. I used just the dies this time. And what's so funny is usually I like the die cuts better than the stamping, but I thought this stamped TV was so adorable. And what I did is I just used my Stamparatus and I stamped my TV. Then I die cut, using the die, a piece of vanilla, and I just glued it around there. Then I popped back in my green and I inked it up. Perfect placement, perfect stamp. And that's how fun that turned out. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to put this pretty paper. Oh, and the reason why I brought down my dimensions on this is if you cut this down to what did I say? Down to 3 3/4, and keeping this at 2 3/4, and you cut this down, you are going to be able to then put this piece here that is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. Now, why is that significant? When this is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2, you're going to get 3 pieces out of a 6 by 6. So our pattern paper comes in 6 by 6. So you're going to be able to cut it at 3 1/2. So whenever you are, let me get a piece of paper and show you here. So when you are looking at this piece, you will come over to 3 1/2. And when you cut it 3 1/2, you're going to have 2 1/2 left over. So that 2 1/2 can go down 3 1/2, and you'll get a piece here. And then when you do 3 1/2 this way, you're going to get 2 1/2 and 2 1/2. So you got 1, 2, 3 pieces, as opposed to getting only 2 pieces. And I'm always, we do a lot of stamping in my classes, and I always need a lot of kits. And so I'm always looking at the best way to get the most out of a 6 by 6. So that's why I cut this down so that my DSP was 2 1/2 by 3 1/2, also easier to remember. And then that made my border 2 3/4, which is that height, and 3 3/4 on the width, okay? So then I was going to then skew this on the card so it fits nicely there. I didn't put the antenna on here, but I bet just a simple black antenna. I may do that later, but I just stamped this, and I'm going to put that on once I adhere this front, okay? So when you're doing this, you're just gonna do this first 1-inch section. Here we go. And I'm going to put it over the peach there to the edge, and I'm going to have it flush with the bottom of the back. Sometimes that takes a little playing around with here. There we go. Okay. Oh my gosh, I glued it on backwards. Oh, what was I thinking? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my, I forgot I already put that on. Okay. You know what we're gonna have to do is wait till that glue dries and get it off of there. Oh my gosh, Cindy Brumbaugh, what are you doing? Okay, I will wait till that dries, and then I'll use my adhesive remover. Then I'm gonna put I know it's gonna be skewed, so I'm not gonna put any glue right at the top on there. So I'm just gonna put some down in the feet and the side there, and this part up here that's gonna kind of be skewed a little bit. So I'm gonna put that right, so it's on the black and it goes up a little bit like that. And then I'm going to put this fun thing. Stay tuned for an important message. Now in the die set, there is the TV screen that you can cut out. As you see on this card, I have it 2 different colors. I actually cut it out because I was gonna put something, I was gonna do something else, but you can actually just die cut that separate and put it right on there. And so that's what I did here. And I'm gonna pop it up with some dimensionals because why not? So here we go. Put some dimensionals on here. I just love, once I got my measurements for this card, I just love this cascade. It's so fun. And then you play around with whatever stamp set you're looking at, that you know, you have some different like pieces of the stamp, which sentiments go which, where. Okay, there we go. Stay tuned for an important message. And like I said, I'll come back with my gum eraser when that's dry. When you're using, not a gum eraser, it's the adhesive thing, and a lot of people try to do it before it's dry, but you do have to wait till it's fully dry, and then it very easily comes off there. Okay, so that was my first one, and I do think it would be cute to put the antenna on there. Let me see, where are they? That might be cute to put this a set of black antenna on there. Why don't we just do that? I think I'm gonna do that. You'll notice you have 2 in there. This one is for the stamped image. It's a little thicker. And then you have the smaller one, which is what I used on, oh, do you know what? I didn't. I used the thicker one here on the silver foil when I made this one. But this one, I'm just gonna get the black. So you take a cute look at that while I just come over here and I will die cut those black antennae. I have just enough of a piece of black over here. I'm kind of just right behind my table. So I am apologizing for forgetting to do that. But I really do think it'll add to the card here. So I'm just gonna put that right up there. Nice little black antenna on this one. Now you're gonna be thinking how fun it is. I'm gonna just take a little of that glue off. And I'm gonna put some the antenna right there on that TV. I think it looks good. Remember how you'd have to like sit there and play around with it? Okay, so let's put the antenna back so that we're not looking for it later. Cindy, put it back in your case. Okay. I kind of like this one being a little bigger, has a little more substantial, but that is a pretty one. But it might have been harder to do with the foil. But okay, so what I did on the next card is my next panel here measured 3.5 tall by 4.5 wide. And like I said, if you wanted to make that, all you really do is if you increase this one to accommodate an image or a die cut, if you increase it at 1/2, you have to do the next one 1/2. If you do it 1/8, the next one has to be 1/8. So that's kind of just what I did on that card. So just all you have to do is increase the width by the same amount on the next one. And it won't matter if you're, you know, if this comes over to here and you only see a little bit of your back panel, which is white, because you can just that's fine, no problem. Okay, so, but remember, all those measurements will be on underneath the YouTube description, and also underneath the YouTube description where you go over to my blog, you press that link, you can see additional photos of the card and stuff like that. Now, one thing you want to make sure you do is don't put glue on this, don't put glue on here and then put it this way like I did on the last one. Oh my goodness gracious. Craziness. Okay, here we go. And we are going to pop this one on the next panel. And remember, that one is 3.5 inches tall because that pleat, that cascade is. And then we want to keep it, once again, we want to keep it flush with the bottom because notice how these match up. Okay, so 3.5 tall. This one is 4.5. But you could easily make it 4 5/8 or 4 3/4, whatever you would like to do. Now, what I did on this one, I wasn't expecting to do. I wanted to use the paper because this was a little bit stark white for me. So when I made this one, I did put this DSP on here instead of the white. But I wanted to incorporate the news flash. So what I did is I made a peach pie TV. And look at this. The peach pie TV tucks right inside here. And look, it's covered up. So whenever they open it, they see another television. Isn't that cool? Now, if you did peach pie, and you want to do green TV, but I kind of changed it up a little bit. And I just decided to do the green and the peach pie. So whatever you want to do, whatever paper you happen to have. I wanted to show you on this card how our new in colors really coordinate with some fun colors we have in our regular family line. So there we go. I just kind of tucked it in there knowing that it was going to get covered. If you want, you can always take a pencil like I did on here and you can draw a little, not the whole way, but you can make a little mark and you'd know how far out it's going to go. But there we go with our TV in the corner. And then I did Newsflash in the Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to pop that in the middle of the TV. Here we go. Newsflash, isn't that cool? Now we've got to have some lightning bolts, right? Okay, so I've got 6 of them. I used the die in the set and I cut it twice and got 6. And then I was putting them on and I was saying, oh gosh, how do those lightning bolts go on? Then I remembered I had the stamp. So I put the stamp the way I knew it would go on my card. Then I knew how to put them on my card. So it would go like this. And then this one would go like this one up here. And then this one went like this. So that's how they went on the actual stamp. Oh wait, this one went this way. I know this sounds ridiculous, but it really was hard trying to figure out which way do I do those. But when I looked at the stamp, I figured out how they would go on my stamp. So then I could just do them, then it was this way, and then I put it this way, and then this piece went that way, and this one went this way. Okay, so then I knew I could put them on. Now, let's say I don't mess those up now, because I went to all that work to show you. So now I'm gonna put those on around the Newsflash, okay? So let's start with this middle one. Get a little glue on here. Okay. I'm gonna put it right coming off the television. And then this one, maybe I'll just put it right here and one right here. I know where they're gonna go. So this one's gonna go here, and this one is gonna go here. Newsflash, and then this one, we're gonna put, I got a little sticky on my finger. There we go. Better put a little more on here. This card may get a little mileage out of it. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna put that one coming off the TV there. And then this one, I'm gonna put right here. little, I just want a little dot. I just want a little dab. Yeah, you know how it is when you just want a little dab. And then you end up with a big one. So let me get a little piece of scratch here. Pick some of that glue up. Now, how did I say this one goes? How do you say it goes? You just come back and say, okay, it goes this way. So that means this one goes on the top here. There we go. And people don't realize what we card makers go through on making a card, right? There's a lot of thinking involved. There we go. And then this one goes like this. Okay. I want to get it up off the words there. There you go. So you got newsflash, happy birthday. So isn't that cute? So stay tuned. Newsflash, happy birthday. The other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to add some, oh gosh, guys, I'm not kidding you. I think I bought 20 packs of these when they were retiring. The black matte dots, they are just the best embellishment. I just love them. And I'm just trying to figure out if this one will be the best one to go on here. I think I'm going to make the smaller one because I want you to see that stamped circle. So I'm going to put a little, you could also put a metallic one in here, or you could put, I guess you can't really tell anyhow. You could put a, oh, you know what would look cute in there is if you put the, let me see if I have them here. I don't know if I have any of that color. But these, I think I used all the peach ones. Yeah, I don't have any peach ones. Oh wait, these are the peach ones. What if you put those on there? I think I might do that. Let's take these buggers off. Put them back over here. But I just think those two circles are a perfect opportunity for an embellishment. How about that? Little peach ones. There we go. Happened to work with this card, but if you were doing another card, you might, oh, I got some more back there. Oh, look, all this. You might do, oh, these, if you're using peach, any of the shimmer ones would work really fun on there too, but also black. If you have any of the, like I said, if you have any of the matte black, or you have any of the black rhinestones left, because, you know, even though we change up our products every year, it doesn't mean we go and throw away everything we had from before. I mean, I try to use everything current so that you guys can make things the way you see them and you like them, but just, you know, play around with different things. You could actually, you know, add rhinestones in here. You know, pearls, if you color them with the blunt end of your Stampin' blends, will actually absorb the color. They will the color will stay on them because it's opaque, and they'll also stay on rhinestones. But make sure you use the blunt end of your blends, because you don't want to mess up that brush end. But isn't that cute? Stay tuned for an important message. Newsflash, happy birthday. And I bet you could put that one other sentiment in there too. Happy birthday, or if you're not making this for a birthday card, you could just put in there your super or your classic. So you could use any of those, and they do have the static here too. That's cute. That could also go inside here. You could put some of the static in there. So this is a really versatile, cute retro style stamp set. So once again, you'll notice all I did, it's kind of hard, or maybe if I turn it this way, you'll see I changed up just 1/8 of an inch on these cards, and they look like they're exactly the same. And the reason, like I said, I did that is so that I could get more pieces of the Pretty Designer Series paper from my 6x6. If it was bigger, I might not have had to worry about that. But you can just increase your width as much as you want. If this went out a little more, this one would go out a little. It doesn't matter, like, because you could cover up a bunch of that white part there without any problem, because the only measurement you have to be careful of is this one and this one, which means the, which is 2 3/4 and 3 3/4. And it's not a bad idea to make these little templates here to have laying around, because it was very easy whenever I went to make the other one that I just pulled out this other template and I just have them in a box for different times that I'm going to use them. So there you go. I hope you will try this landscape cascading pleat card. Isn't that fun? I love that. And pops right into your A2 size card. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call at 724-323-2296. You can also text me a photo if you'd like. I'd love to get pictures of cards that you're making. It really does make my day. And don't forget that you have until the 1st of August to sign up for the August Busy Bee Bag. The Busy Bee Bag is a great value. For $40, you get $20 to $25 worth of product, and you get 8 card kits with envelopes, and I designed 4 cards with 2 of each of the designs. A lot of times recently I've been making up almost 8 different designs because I've been changing up papers and maybe sentiments on certain cards, and all of that is mailed to you for $40. You can also add on any of the stamp sets that I choose to feature in there, but you do not have to use that stamp set. I purposely and very, very carefully design my cards that you can use any stamp set that you have. So you can get the things that I die cut out, and then you are able to use your own stamp sets. But if you like the featured stamp set and you had that on your wish list, you can order that stamp set and get it free shipping and tax, because I will include it when I mail out your Busy Bee Bag. So you're saving a bundle right there. So I think you should consider that one. And the August one, I'm using the sketched butterflies. I'm so excited. Once this video was done, I was clearing off my table and starting on those cards. So if you need any more information on that, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks for buzzing by.